In this video, we're going to talk about Reishi's effects and benefits on the emotions. Now, this video is in response to a question that I received recently, and the question was basically asking, do you take Reishi and do you feel it immediately? Or is it something that, starts to work very subtle and over time you start to notice it? So I'm going to answer that question and then also get into some other details which are important and very relevant to this topic. So basically, how soon and how much and how potent an herb is for you, in my opinion and my experience, is contingent upon how tuned in you are with your own nervous system, how strong your feedback loop is between your conscious awareness and your somatic awareness and your actual body nervous system sensations. Now, some people, because of trauma, because of emotional pain, because of physical pain, because of injury or whatever, are just really out of tune with their body and what's actually going on in their body. So someone might be able to just eat garbage all the time, which is really harming their organs and harming their body, but consciously have no awareness of that. Whereas some people can just eat something, a little small amount of it, and can feel, oh, my liver doesn't like this, oh, my stomach doesn't like this, oh, my intestines are upset, or etc. And this also applies to herbs. Some people take an herb and feel it immediately. Some people take an herb and they're like, I don't notice anything. So to me, I can remember when I first started on this path, first started taking different supplements, different herbs, doing different diets, doing different meditations, doing different exercises, and how much I was able to actually notice the difference after I'd done it as compared to when I started was very small. But as I did yoga and as I quieted my mind down, as I practiced meditation, as I started to just kind of clean out my body, and most importantly, actually pay attention to my body and actually develop my nervous system all the way through my body and move the awareness just from the brain actually down into the body. I was using meditation and yoga and things like this to really open up that awareness. And there's a process that's called Neurobiotaxes, which basically, that means you can grow nerves in areas where you didn't really have them before. So one way to illustrate this is that, in your hands, the actual nerve connection, the actual amount of nerves that you have, and the degree of dexterity that you have in the area is very fine-tuned because you worked on it, because you paid a lot of attention to it. For example, if you're a painter or you're really good at writing or playing music, you have even more than most people because you paid even more attention to it. Now, if you compare that to your liver, compare that to your digestive organs, and the amount of attention and a sensitivity that you have to it, it's probably not anywhere near what you have for your hands because you haven't paid attention to it, because you haven't actually used techniques and skills and strategies to actually develop those connections. So, long story short, how soon you feel the herbs obviously depends on you as a person, and most importantly depends on the level of sensitivity that you have to your own nervous system. Now, to get into Reishi's effects on the emotions, for me, I intuitively knew and I could feel almost an immediate calming meditative effect once I started to actually consume high quality good reishi on a regular basis. I had many experiences of taking a sip of a drink or having a tea or taking a tincture or eating some concentrated powder and just immediately feeling a wave just coming over me. And then if you fast and you actually don't eat, this tends to make you more sensitive. So if you really want to feel herbs, the best time to do that is after you've been fasting. So first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, go ahead and try the herb and you'll feel it and you can feel what's going on. And I'll give you the strategy that I use to really learn about the herbs and learn about what they did and how they felt. And that's basically first thing in the morning, wake up, do a little bit of exercise, loosen your body, have some water, and then take your herb and sit and meditate for an hour and just pay attention to what's happening. Pay attention to the thoughts that come up, to the memories that come up, to the the physical sensations, to the emotional sensations, to the insights that you have, and you can really tune in and actually have a dialogue, a conversation, a communication with what this herb is trying to do. So that's just what I did. Now, to wrap up, I want to share with you a little bit about what Reishi has done for me on an emotional level and how it's benefited me at certain times in my life. So about a year and a half ago, I hit kind of a really transitional phase in my life where there's a lot of novelty, a lot of growth, a lot of expansion, but also a lot of decay. For example, a business that I invested 2-3 years into was gone. My 3 best friends were gone, my girlfriend was gone, and the house that I lived in with my girlfriend I moved out of. So basically, on all sides, I felt pretty much defeated because everything that I've been investing so much time and energy into completely just disappeared in a very short amount of time. So naturally this was a shock, naturally this was very stressful, and naturally this was very hard on me emotionally. So at that time, I of course thought, okay, well, I need to really up my dose of reishi. I need to really get on this reishi. So of course that's what I did, is took more reishi regularly, 3 times a day, no matter what. And what happened was it turned all of that stress into a much more even keel kind of experience, to where I could see, okay, here's this immediate moment situation, which seems to be really negative, but I was able to zoom out and see, okay, well, actually, it seems to be moving me more towards what I wanted, and I actually wasn't really that happy anyways. So sure, it's stressful, sure it's change, sure it's unknown, sure I'm kind of afraid, but ultimately it's going to be okay. And throughout this phase, I was able to just feel calm and peaceful and balanced while all of this chaos was happening around me. So I'm sure we all go through phases like this at points in our life. It's natural, it's part of the process. So having things like reishi in there, in your equation, in your life, is really essential and really helpful to be able to make you feel just calm and balanced and not so stressed or beat down by what's happening in your life. And finally, and most importantly, it'll allow you to see what's happening from a broader perspective, so you're not sucked in and consumed to a myopic view of what's happening in the situation. So that is reishi and the emotions. If you have any other questions or comments, post them below, and I'll talk to you soon.